Ами, аз ще кажа добър вечер. Добър вечер на всички, които се присъединяват сега към нашият вебинар. Да се представя, аз се казвам Димитър Александров и съм представител на Агенция за образование в чужбина Skylines. Днес имаме удоволствието да представим една от най-добрите академии за дизайн и мода, не само в Италия, но и в света. Като наш гост тази вечер ще бъде Дамяно Антоназо, представител на Istituto Marangoni и един от директорите, който отговаря за нашият район. Също така Петя Ламбова, която отговаря пък в България за всички младежи, които се интересуват от програми, свързани с мода, дизайн, изкуства и помага в целия процес по оформяне на документи, кандидатстване, оформяне на документите за финансово, за определяне на таксите за обучение и въобще всичко, което е свързано с успешното кандидатстване в една така престижна институция и всичките предизвикателства, които срещат младежите, за да бъдат прияти в една такава престижна институция. Работа на Петя е, разбира се, да съдейства. Всъщност, ние като организатори на едно такова събитие, нашата работа е не само да запознаем младежите с различните възможности в учебните заведения, но и да им съдействаме в подготовката на документите, нещо, което Петя прави. Вярвам, че тези от вас, които се интересуват след това да получат малко повече информация за докъде са стигнали с портфолиото си, какви са необходимите документи, ще имат възможност и седмица по-късно да се срещнат индивидуално с Дамяно и с Петя, за да може да получат повече информация в това отношение. Петя, Дамяно, thank you very much for being here. I will leave the stage to you now to start your presentation.
Thank you. Okay, so I think it's my time to start. Thanks, Dimitar and Petya, for the organization of today's presentation. And thank all of you. I can see so many of you participating, and I'm so glad actually to see you so active. We know, everybody knows what we are going through. This time is an online presentation, and possibly in a short time we're going to be able also to come back and visit you and talk face to face. So as I've been introduced, my name is Damyanon Antonazzo, and I'm the regional mission manager at Istituto Marangoni, fashion, design and Istituto, school based in different cities around the world, and we are going to I'm going to guide you today in a short excursion in our world, and today's webinar is going to consist in basically two parts. The first part is going to be my part, where I'm going to speak about Marangoni, and the second part is going to be your part, where you are going to be able to ask any questions you might have. So please stay focused, and whenever you have a question, just type that in the chat box, and we are going to read all of them at the end of the presentation. Of course, as it has been announced, there are going to be also some portfolio tips, which I think it's going to be very useful, especially for undergraduate students. Before I start the speech, I'm going to ask you something so that we get to know a little bit more each other. I'm going to actually launch a poll in order to understand basically who is attending the presentation and what basically you are looking for. So if I remember correctly, I'm trying to do the poll right now. Just a second. Voila. So It's just a couple of questions related to what is your program of interest, if you are more interested in an undergraduate program or a postgraduate program, and the area of study. As we said, it's a fashion design business, so please feel free to give your preference, and we are going to start the presentation. So just wait. One. Okay, I see many of you undergraduate, fashion design, design interior product, some business. So it's a very, very interesting number of attendees with different tastes. We are just missing probably 10 of you. So like 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to close the pool now. So just for who actually was not ready to do that, 3, 2, 1, and we are closing the pool. Okay, thank you very much. And voila, so I can see that we have the majority of you is looking for an undergraduate program. The majority of you is looking for fashion design, but still we have some postgraduate with interest in design, visual, and management. So thank you for that. And without further ado, let's move on to the presentation. Voila, just give me a sec. And voila, you should be able to see my screen. And before starting my speech, let's Marangoni speak a little bit about itself.
You didn't choose to come here today.
Does it work? No. We always do that a lot of time, but we always have some technical issues. Don't worry about that.
You didn't choose to come here today. You decided much, much earlier. You decided when you made your first pencil stroke, when you chose your favorite color, the day you discovered what is beautiful and what is not. The first time you were told you're talented. This is why you are here now. Because it's not enough just to be told. Talent is nothing until you can touch it, wear it, illuminate it, see it. When it mixes with 2, 3 or 4,000. It is useless without sweat, tears and sleepless nights. It is no good if it only speaks to itself. Challenge it, set it on fire and rebuild it from scratch. Blindly trust it, but never totally believe it. You can't find it, but you can learn. Your talent brought you here. It's time to begin.
So this is just a little introduction on Istituto Marangoni. Just a little bit of history and heritage. Marangoni is a surname. It's actually the surname of Mr. Giulio Marangoni, who was a tailor, basically making dresses for women of high society in 1935. And that decided actually to share his experience and create a school to teach future professionals in the field. Some of them became such good professionals that have been able to write the history of fashion and design, such as Domenico Dolci's Dolce & Gabbana, Franco Moschino, Alessandra Facchinetti, Maurizio Pecoraro, and many more. And if you think about the time, 1935, you can actually think of the fact that at that time, fashion in Italy was not the pret-à-porter that is going to be later in the 80s. And in the world, the first wave of high fashion is going to be the haute couture in Paris, but it's going to be in the 50s. So thinking of an atelier and a school related to fashion in 1935 makes you understand that Marangoni is not just a name in education, but it's actually a very important name in the creation of the Italian fashion system first, and then in the Italian design system. In 1935, the first school was opened in Milano, which is still like where we have the headquarters. And as you can see, starting in the early 2000s, so 2003, Marangoni went through a very big internationalization process, opening in London, Paris, Shanghai, Milano Design, Firenze, Shenzhen, Mumbai, and almost 4 years ago, Istituto Marangoni, Miami. As we speak, so as of today, we are ready to enroll students from abroad in those that we basically consider European campuses, so Milano, London, Paris, and Firenze. For the other campuses, we are still pending some accreditation, that actually includes also Miami, and we are going to be able to do the enrollments for international students probably starting from next year. So it's a long time dedicated to creativity and passion in fashion and design. You could see that those cities that I mentioned are considered to be the worldwide recognized fashion, design, and arts capital. Milano, London, Paris, or Firenze. But there are like some values that we consider unique, and we want these values to be present in all our campuses and among all our students. It's Italianness, what we call the Italianità, which is not just the Italian, I don't know, style or a sense of beauty. It's the Italian teaching methodology that combines perfectly theory and practice. And theory and practice, the perfect balance, it's key when it comes to creative studies. The location of our schools, it's also key. Not only in the fashion and design capitals, but it's in the really epicenter of the cities where you can find companies, showrooms, shops, and basically the industry. And this is important because if you're here today, you are creative people. And no matter if it's fashion or design, every creative project, and you know that perfectly, starts with the inspiration. So if the school is located where the industry is there, then you can find your inspiration as soon as you walk in or out of the buildings. And being in the important capitals, creative capitals, allows Istituto Marangoni to have professional teachers. So people who have been working or are still working in the design and fashion industry, and they can not only not teach by the books, but they can teach by experience, but they can also involve the industry in order for the students to collaborate with them. And we are going to speak about professional teaching and industry links and careers closer to the end of the presentation. Istituto Marangoni is a very international school, having more than, let's say, 105, if I'm not mistaken, nationalities present in campus. So students that come from all over the world. This is also another important thing, important fact. I personally call it the international soul. And it's important because everybody comes to school with their taste, their way of thinking, their creativity. And when we put students, creative students with this wide experience in a small group, the projects that they realize are surely going to be very creative and innovative. But if you want to make your experience at Marangoni even more international, and here I'm speaking actually more to those of you interested in an undergraduate program. Actually, you can do that with the intercampus. So basically, you can start the first year of your BA in one city and ended up in another campus. So the first year in Milano, the second and third in London, the first year in London, the second and third in Paris, or vice versa. So basically, you can mix up your experience in a way that gives you more about creativity, and you also get the chance to see how design and fashion are represented in different cities. For example, I just said that we have unique values that we want to spread among our students. So if the teaching is the same, if the school is the same, what could be the difference between Milano or London or Paris? Actually, there is one important thing, which is again close to inspiration, because the city is not just the place where you're going to live or study. The city, it's going to be your inspiration. So first of all, you need to find the city that is closer to you, and the city that better represents the fashion or the design that you like. For example, Milano is very known for the fashion pret-à-porter. It's one of the design capitals with the most important design fair in the world, which is called the Salone del Mobile. It's also the city of communication. Paris is very linked to the haute couture, the culture of the atelier, high-end fashion. London is probably more related to underground culture and street fashion and new trends, and probably also one of the cities in which is easier to start your own startup. Firenze, everybody knows Firenze as one of the most beautiful cities in the world and one of the most artistic. And this is why, for example, in Firenze, we have art programs. But maybe not everyone knows that Firenze is also one of the fashion capitals. It's actually the city where the first fashion show took place, and it's the capital of accessories design, leather goods, shoes, jewelry design, bags. So if, for example, you want to become an accessory designer, then staying closer to the industry, it can be a very wide choice. Again, Marangoni and the industry. I mentioned that we can have teachers that are professionals, and one of the probably the biggest example is Mr. Giulia Bedoni. She's a former student at Istituto Marangoni. She's been working in the industry for a while, and she worked for almost 5 years at the Prada Group as a designer, and then create her own business. And now she's she was the director of education, and she's one senior teacher at Istituto Marangoni Milano. But then we have also Diana Murek, who was actually the academic director of Istituto Marangoni, and she's been working as the head designer of Costume National for a while. Mr. Giulio Cappellini of the Cappellini Company, which is one of the most important in the furniture design, is the brand ambassador at Istituto Marangoni and collaborates with the students constantly. So this is actually a hint of the level of industry connection that our students can have through our teachers. Istituto Marangoni is a private school, and all students will get an Istituto Marangoni certificate at the end. But most of the program of Istituto Marangoni are also validated, so are equal to a master degree or a Bachelor of Arts. What you can see now on the screen is basically the body of accreditations of our programs. AFAM is an acronym for the Italian Ministry of Education that validates our bachelors in Milano and Firenze. At the moment, we are pending actually only 2 of them, which is fashion styling and fashion management, but we are confident that we are going to have them validated by October 22. Then in London, Paris, we have Manchester Metropolitan University that validates all our programs, undergraduate and postgraduate. And in Paris, we have a third accreditation, which is CNCP, which is a local French professional accreditation. So as you can see, whatever path you choose at Marangoni, you always find a way to get your validation, your bachelor, and your master. Let's get closer to what you can find at Istituto Marangoni. So what is the level of education that you can find? Undergraduate, postgraduate, as we have both undergraduate interested students and postgraduate. I'm going to speak about them both. For the undergraduate, we have a preparatory course, which is also called the foundation program. The foundation program is divided in 3 terms. So the foundation usually is for those students who are lacking the admission requirements for the BA. If you already have 12 years of secondary education, you should be set for the BA without the foundation. But the foundation could be interesting if you are still looking for your path. So for example, you're not sure if you want to do interior, product, or visual design. You're not sure if you want to do fashion, styling, or business. So the foundation is divided in 3 parts, and in each part we are going to do one of the disciplines. Interior, product, or visual if you choose design, fashion, business, or styling if you choose fashion. In this case, you can actually be sure about your BA program. But if you're already sure, and if you have 12 years of secondary education, then you can just jump to the BA, which is the second line, which is our 3-year program, Bachelor of Arts, that we can offer in Firenze, Milano, London, and Paris. The study abroad is for those of you that are studying in the field. So basically you are already attending a university, design related or fashion related, or even business related, but you cannot do a full BA at Marangoni. You can come for a semester. So for 6 months, and you can do the transfer in the second year of our 3-year program. Of course, for this, we will need to check on your study plan, on your transcript, and on your portfolio, but it's a very good opportunity. Usually it's either the first or the second semester of our second year. The last program is one of my favorites. It's called the 1-year intensive courses. Suppose that we have postgraduate students today with us. You already have a university degree, not related to creativity, medicine, engineering, law, IT, for example. But you do not want to work in that field. You feel yourself creative. You cannot do the master because you don't have the background, but you don't want to do another BA again. The 1 year comes as the perfect thing. You can do the most intensive program at Istituto Marangoni, and in 1 year you get in fashion or in design all the necessary skills to start practicing, or if you want to do the practical master. Very interesting. If any one of you is interested, just write me a question and I'm going to answer later on. Postgraduate. Our master, the master at the Istituto Marangoni usually are 1 academic year in Milano and Firenze, and it's 15 months in Paris and London. The difference is due to the fact that in Milano we are still pending the validation, which again, I'm confident that we are going to have in October. In Paris and London, as we saw just now, the master are accredited, validated by Manchester Metropolitan University. This allows all master students to do an internship, which is going to be compulsory and which is going to be in the master program. And it's not the student that needs to look for the internship, it's our career service that will find the internship for you. This is the MA, so the master degree. Suppose that you have a sort of preparation in the field, in the creative field, but you're lacking some skills. For example, you don't know how to sew or how to do the pattern making for fashion, or you don't know how to do the 3D rendering or the CAD part for design. In this case, you can also do the pre-master, which is usually 16 weeks. It's a 4-month preparation program that gives you the necessary level to start the master degree. Short courses, the last thing that I'm going to speak about is introductory. So suppose that you have, you know what is fashion and design, but you never tried that. It's mainly for undergraduate. You can come at Marangoni for 1, 2, 3, or 4 weeks, mostly during summertime, between June and July. And in this time, you are going to do a short project and decide if fashion, design, or arts is something that you want to pursue as a BA program. As mentioned, we have like a wide portfolio with a lot of programs and very different among each other. I'm not going into details with all of them, but again, if somebody has a specific question about a specific program that you saw, for example, in our website, don't forget to ask. I'm going to mention the main direction. And this actually is valid for 1 year intensive, bachelor, and master program. So fashion area, we have fashion design, fashion styling, and fashion business. Fashion design is how to create a collection from A to Z, from the idea, the research, the sketches, the technical sketches, pattern making, shoeing, and preparing the fashion show. And in fashion design, you can find different pathways, different specialization: women's wear, menswear, kids wear, active wear or sportswear, and accessories at all levels. If fashion design is how to create a collection, fashion styling is how to create the mood for a collection, for a fashion show, for a brand, for a particular season, or also for a particular person if you think about the personal shopper or the trendsetter. Fashion styling is very linked to video shooting, photo shooting, and image. Very beautiful program. Fashion business is if for those students who want to, and we have some of them today with us, work in the business side of fashion. So probably is the less creative of our program because it's more related to business, but as you can understand, fashion is fashion if we can sell it. If not, it's just a work of art. So in the process, the fashion business career, it's one of the most in demand. And in fashion business, we have different programs such as fashion business, fashion buying, fashion promotion, luxury brand management, and the newest program, which are related to omnichannel and e-commerce. Omnichannel and e-commerce have been very popular since probably 5 to 6 years ago. But due to the pandemic, the e-commerce, as you know, like boost up. So we are receiving a lot of requests specifically for this master degree. Let's have a look at the design area. Here we have interior, product, and visual. Interior design, it's actually pretty straightforward, but in Marangoni is very related to fashion and luxury places. So luxury places, fashion, and concept store. Interior design is not just how to do the interior for a place, it's actually putting in a connection, a person and the place that is around, so create connection. Product design is very linked with the furniture and lighting design, and this is thanks to the collaboration that we have with the Cappellini. And the last program is visual design, which is not just graphic design, it's graphic design and communication. Graphic design, if you do just graphic design, you're going to be, let's say, a good technician in graphic design. Visual design gives you the communication part. So to be able, not just to be a good graphic designer, but being able to build the communication around the design that makes something more interesting or more beautiful. And the last, actually, I forgot to mention that at Marangoni, fashion is in all our campuses. Design is in Milano and London, and art is only in Firenze, Florence, because as we actually discussed, it's a fashion capital, but it's one of the most artistic cities in the world. And this is the place to be if you are an art lover. In arts, we have programs in multimedia arts, curatorial studies, and one of the most in demand in the last 5 years, it's arts management. So how to promote art, how to sell art, and how to promote artists. Let's have a look at the industry projects. First, I think I need to explain how does it work. In the 3-year program, I mentioned the internship, which is lasting 3 months in the master. I did not mention that all accredited program, validated program, bachelor in Milano and Firenze have a compulsory internship during the 3rd year, which is 3 months. This is embedded in the program, so part of the study plan. It's our school that finds the internship for all our students. Then at the end of the program, the career service helps the students to find an additional internship, which is not part of the study plan. But during the BA and during the master, as I said, we want students already be working with the industry. So we collaborate with companies. In what way? Usually in a time frame which is 8 weeks, which we call a term, we invite a company at school. The company or the manager, the designer, gives the students a brief. The students, together with the program leader and with the faculty, will work individually or in group on this project that they will need to present to the company at the end of the term. And we do many of these collaborations throughout the year. In the BA, usually they start from year number 2. And in the master, we can say that at Marangoni, the master is practice. So in the master, we have 3 terms, and each term, it's one special project with the industry. Individual, group project, and then the final thesis. One of the latest and probably most important that we did last year, for example, just to give you an example, has been done with Dolce & Gabbana. The project is called Nero Sicilia, Nero Sicily. And here the students have been requested to analyze the importance of the black color in the traditional, in the Sicilian tradition, to do the same with the company, the brand Dolce & Gabbana, and then to mix these elements and to create a collection which should have been innovative and considering also some let's say topics up to date, such as inclusion and sustainability. And we should have a short video with our students within this process.
If I had to describe Dolce & Gabbana in 3 words, I would say that it would be bold, opulent, and daring.
I mean, this is just an example, but I think that the importance here is to underline how students have the possibility of talking to the company, looking into the archives, and doing actually this research, which is amazing. This is actually Dolce & Gabbana, but we had project with Pinco, Borsalino. For the design part, we had Moroso, Alessi, Luce Planna. And something that I want to share with you, as we don't have the time today to look at all the projects, you can actually go in this platform that actually now has just been enhanced. So the landscape is even more beautiful than what you can see now on the screen. If you type houseof.istitutomarangoni.com, you're going to, it's without registration. So you don't need to send us your details. You just go in, it's open. It's divided in fashion, design, art, and the video. You can find in these, let's say, doors, the rooms containing the fashion project, the design project, the arts project, and the video, including, for example, the video of the fashion show. For every project, especially, for example, if you go in fashion, you will see fashion industry. It means that in that box, you can see the project with the industry. If it's without, then you can see just the projects. And you can see the name of the students, the campus, the course of study, the program, the brief, and the company. I think it's very interesting and also very inspiring. Let's have a look at the admission requirements needed to start a Marangoni program. This is the undergraduate, but I'm going to also speak about the postgraduate, which is pretty similar. It's just the level which is different. So undergraduate program, suppose the BA, the 3-year program. So what we need is the application form, the personal statement, which is a motivation letter, 500 words in which you describe yourself, your motivation, your expectation from Istituto Marangoni, the high school diploma, that is actually a typo, I'm sorry for that, and then the language proficiency. I forgot to mention that at Marangoni, you can study everywhere in English, and in Milano and Firenze, you can also choose Italian. So if you speak Italian in Milano or Firenze, you can actually take the program in Italian. If you don't panic, English is everywhere. And pay attention that also in Paris, we only have English programs in English. So we don't teach in French. But the most important thing in the application is the portfolio. The portfolio is requested for the creative programs. So what are the creative programs? Fashion design, fashion styling, interior design, product design, and visual design. And also multimedia arts for the arts program. If the portfolio is required, I'm going to show now a few examples. If the portfolio is not required, such as in fashion management, fashion business, instead of the portfolio, you're going to receive a link to a skill test. The skill test is 10 questions with multiple answers, and you can actually go through that test home. The questions are related to the fashion industry. Pay attention that you come to school and to Marangoni to learn. So we don't want you to be already prepared in all the fashion industry. So the questions are interesting because they will make you start your research into fashion and into design. The same goes for the creative portfolio. The portfolio is an undergraduate portfolio. So it's for those of you that have passion, have motivation, but still are lacking the skills. So you need to show your creativity, your motivation, and your ideas. The portfolio for the postgraduate must be already professional, but for the undergraduate, it's definitely and purely creative. So how can it be? Suppose that you want to study fashion. If you want to study fashion, there are like a lot of ways in which you can show your ideas, creativity, and motivation. So for example, you can create the first box is a sketchbook in which actually you put together all your ideas. If you know how to sketch, you can do sketches, and you can do that in black and white, or you can color them. And you can do one or multiple sketches based on the same idea, as you can see in the second, in the box, in the big box down. But these are drawings, for example. Many interested students in fashion design, but that goes also for visual design or product design, are passionate, but they don't know how to draw, how to sketch. It's not a problem, because you can try to show your creativity doing collages based on what you find in fashion magazine, design magazine, in Pinterest, in Instagram. You can actually take inspiration. Or, as you can see in the second box, for example, you can show also the material that you would like to see in a fashion collection. So it's not about preparation, it's about passion, motivation, and of course, if you can actually do sketches. I know that some of the students at the undergraduate, they take 1 or 2 years of preparation for the portfolio in fashion. If you can do that, you can do your sketches, but if you cannot do sketches, you can work on mood boards. So for example, elements that characterize your taste or the fashion that you like, which is actually in the left picture, or in design in the right picture. So try to put in a mood board all the elements that inspire you. This is an example, but for example, another example could be what is the mood board that I would do if I was a color, if I was a song, if what characterize my art, what characterize my music, what characterize my design. So if you don't know how to draw, how to sketch, you can actually do a lot of things such as mood boards. Or artworks, if it comes to multimedia arts, or for example, graphic design. Graphic design at Marangoni, visual design especially, it's very linked to computer software. But if you are coming to us because you're not using yet the computer software, you can create your design on paper and then just send us like those that you can see on the slide now. Different sketches can be related also to product design. If you don't know, product design is how to create objects and products. but there is a technology behind it that you don't need to show us. You're coming to learn. So take something that already exists and try to make your version of it. It's an exercise, a creative exercise that allows our commission to identify your creativity and your motivation. And if we are thinking about interior design, which is very technical, again, if you're not ready for that, and we totally understand, you can do this kind of mood board, and every mood board can identify something. For example, this is saying design is creating harmony, and these pictures shows for the students what is an harmonic place. Design is choosing material, color, dimension, and how to express them. This is the second mood board. Design is lighting, and these pictures, for example, are showing lighting in interior design. So there are like a million ways in which you can show your motivation and what you like in design. And last but not least, also the way in which you present your portfolio is creative. Your portfolio is already a creative project. And for example, you can choose a nice way to put different mood boards in a portfolio. So portfolio is about creativity, but it's also about selection of your best project and trying to find a way, a nice, interesting, creative way in which you can send it to us. Again, this is just for the undergraduate, because the undergraduate portfolio is based on 6 creative ideas. If you want to apply for a postgraduate programs, the portfolio should be made of 5 to 10 projects that you've already realized during your BA or during your work experience, if you have. The other admission requirements basically for the PG program, so the postgraduate, is your university degree and 2 motivation letters. The minimum is 5, the maximum is 10 for the postgraduate. Usually it's 6 creative ideas for the undergraduate. Having said that, I'm going to speak briefly about the scholarship competition because it's really related to portfolio. Until the 7th of March, we have opened a competition for scholarship that allows talented students to get a deduction on the tuition fee. How does it work? Basically, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. First of all, you can get in contact with Petya and Dimitar at Skylines because they know the deadlines, they know how to put together the documents, and they know exactly how it works. But if you want to have a look at it, you can just go on scholarship.istitutomarangoni.com. You choose your program, you choose your area of study, and you're going to have the list of documents that you need to present. Basically, it's what we just saw. Motivation letter, high school diploma, and most important is the portfolio. The scholarship competition allows students to get up to 5,000 euro off the tuition fee for the undergraduate program and for the master program. And later on, probably in April, we are going to launch a second competition only dedicated to master degree students, which is going to be done in collaboration with some of the companies that you saw on the screen. And this company requires not just the portfolio, but a special project that is going to be announced. So if you want to participate, you can do this project. Well, actually go in the competition brief, read it, do the project. And in this case, the competition gives higher awards, up to 50% of the tuition fee. Having said that, I would like also to remind you that if some of you are basically preparing for application at Istituto Marangoni, maybe you want to try the competition, maybe you have your portfolio but not ready yet, we are going to offer a unique possibility next Thursday, which is the 24th of February, to set one-to-one meetings with Petya and with myself. In these meetings, there is going to be individual. We are going to, well, actually know each other, speak about the program, and if you want, also have a look at your portfolio and give you hints on how to put it together and how to prepare for the competition if you want to participate. I think that you are definitely tired about my of my Italian accent, a terrible Italian accent. So I'm going to finish the presentation just by explaining what you can see on the screen now. It's basically the placement rate, which is very high, and it's 80% of the graduates are working in the field, and more than 90% of the students of the BA and the master find an occupation or an internship within 1 year after graduation. It seems to be redounding to give such high placement rate and such very known companies. But honestly, I get surprised every time when I see that this is happening for real. Just one example, then I promise I finish. Last year, well, actually not last year, in 2020, we know what happened in 2020, and we also were compelled to have online education for a while. And our colleagues of the career service were not sure if it was possible to place the students for the internship during the master degrees. And I received a slide from Paris, for example, indicating the internship that have been done in Paris by Paris students during the pandemic. And it was Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Oda Magazine, Bulgari. And I said, if this is happening during the pandemic, I'm sure that this is going to happen when the pandemic is over. So, I think that this is it for my part. I hope that now you have a better idea of what is Marangoni, what we do, and how we do it. And as we promised, now it's your time to ask questions. I think that we already have many. Petya, how do you want to proceed? Should I read the questions or should you read and then I answer?
I will read the questions for you, but because you guys didn't let me introduce myself, I'm going to do it. So I'm not just a picture on the screen of everybody. It will take me just a moment, and then we start with the questions because there are quite a lot. Добър вечер и от мен, както моите колеги ме представиха. Аз се казвам Петя и съм част от екипа на Агенция за образование в чужбина Skylines. Моята задача е да бъда от помощ за вас, за тези от вас, които искат да продължат своето образование в креативна програма, така че да можем заедно да разгледаме варианти за подготовка на портфолио, мотивационно писмо, което са едни от най-важните елементи в кандидатстването, избор на програма, кампус, следене на важни срокове, комуникация с институциите и подготовка на всички практични въпроси, които са свързани с започването на образованието в чужбина. Няма да губя повече време и започвам с въпросите. Благодаря ви, че сте толкова активни. Ще се постараем да отговорим на всеки един от тях. Damiano, there are several questions about the short courses, and if you can give more information on them. For example, is there an industry experience during the courses? What are the deadlines to apply, and in which areas of studies there are short courses you're offering?
Okay, well, first of all, Petya, I'm sorry. I just jumped into the presentation. Of course, we always do the rehearsal, but then we do something wrong. Sorry, and sorry every one of you for not introducing such a nice lady as Petya.
Thank you.
Okay, short courses. There is no professional experience in the short courses, and I explain you why. The short courses are introductory. Usually they last, well, you saw 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, but I would say that the average duration is 3 weeks. But students comes really with no experience. You need to, in order to start the short courses, you need to speak English without a certificate, intermediate level. and have the resume and motivation letter. But the program starts from the basic. Suppose fashion design, you're going to start knowing how to do the research coming from an inspiration, how to do the first sketches, and how to put together the color board or the material board. But in 3 weeks, you are not prepared to work with any company. So there is no professional experience in the short courses, which again are purely introductory. It's a very beautiful way in order to decide if Istituto Marangoni, and especially if fashion, design, and arts is something that you want to do as a future studies. It's really a full immersion in Marangoni with 75 teaching hours during 3 weeks, which is quite a lot. And with the same teachers that teach during the BA or master, and you are here in Milano, or you are going to be in Firenze or London or Paris, and decide what to do next. We have only one program, which is advanced, which is interior design. We have advanced interior design. In this case, again, there is no professional experience, but the level of the course is higher, and it's focused on Italian trends in interior design. I hope that answered the question.
There are questions about also the fees of the courses and if there is accommodation offered with them.
Okay, for the short courses or for all courses?
Both.
Okay, both. So let's start from the short courses. Usually the short courses, they start from 2,600 euro for 2 weeks, and around 4,000 euro for 3 weeks of learning. We don't have accommodation included, but we do have deals with a few hotels and residences here in Milano or in London and in Paris, and so we put you in contact with these premises that you can actually book. The same goes for the long-term programs, undergraduate or postgraduate. We don't have our students' dorms. We have real estate agents that works exclusively for Istituto Marangoni, and they can give you the best option. In London, probably it's more students' residences because it's actually very common to have them in the UK. In Milano and Paris, most of the time is apartments. So you can choose to stay in a room, single room, with other students in the same flat, 2, 3, or 4, or you can choose to have your studio on your own. An average pricing can be in Milano, for example, 600 euro a month for a room, and 850 euro above for a studio. Of course, it depends on the distance from the campus, the block, the area, but an average could be like this. The prices of the programs, they are really different because we have the foundation that starts from 17,000 euro and it's 1 year. And then we have the BA, the 3-year program that it's between 22 and 26,000 euro per year. And the master is between 34 and 36,000 euro per year.
Thank you. And there are a few questions about the opportunity to study at Marangoni while they are studying in a Bulgarian university here at the bachelor level. You said the possibility to study one
abroad.
semester with you. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you give us more information how the process is done and what the students should do in order to apply for this program?
Okay, well, actually, the application process is very similar to what we saw together. So you need to have your transcripts. So the last available transcripts of your university. Then you need to have the language proficiency, and you need to have, to give us the full study plan of your university degree and your portfolio, especially if it's a creative program. How does it work? Basically, the commission evaluates all these elements and gives you the green light on the attendance on the first or the second semester of year number 2. There are also some changes that can be done. So, for example, the semester is the semester of our existing students at Marangoni. But depending on your needs and on your current study plan, some subjects can be added as elective in order to give you what you are missing, if you are missing something, of course. It's basically, the last thing that I wanted to say about the semester is that if you're coming for 6 months, so for a semester, then as we have validation, you can get the same study units, the ACTS, and recognize them in your university. So you're not losing time, you are actually coming for a different experience, and you're still going to get the credits for your university.
Yes. Can you please tell us if a student can apply for more than one program?
No. Well, actually, it depends. If you speak about application process, so can I apply, for example, at the same time to fashion design and fashion styling and fashion business and then decide? This is a no. So you need to choose your program, and you need to choose also your city. But having said that, if you apply for one city and one program, and then in the meantime you change your mind, of course we can evaluate the change. If the question is related to, can I study 2 BAs, for example, at the same time, this is not going to be possible. The workload is pretty heavy, and you can do just one program at a time.
Thank you. What are the language requirements for the English level, both for undergraduate and postgraduate courses? And which system, like which language certificate would you accept? IELTS, Cambridge, TOEFL? Okay, so the level is different depending on the city. For example, Italy, as English is not our mother tongue, we are not so picky, and usually the level required is equal to an IELTS 4.5 for the undergraduate and 5 for the postgraduate. You can send us your IELTS, but for Italy, any certificate that certifies your level, which can be B1 for the undergraduate or B2 for the postgraduate, is going to be fine. For Paris and London, as the accreditation comes from Manchester Metropolitan University, an official certification must be sent. The level is a little bit higher. So for the undergraduate is 6.0, and for the postgraduate is 6.5. And here we do accept IELTS and Cambridge and TOEFL. Honestly, now I don't remember which is the equivalence of the IELTS 6 or 6.5 for TOEFL or Cambridge, but actually we can actually discuss. I mean, if there is actually some of you that wants to apply, then just send your certification, and then we can let you know if it's going to be valid. But most of the most common certificates are accepted, and that includes IELTS, TOEFL, and Cambridge. And if you had your studies in English, you don't need to present the certificate. For example, if you had a university in English, or if you're coming from an IB school or a US curriculum or UK curriculum, so you have the proof that you studied in English, then you don't need to present your English score. There are many questions if the students still have time to apply for the September intake. What are the deadlines? Also, you mentioned about the scholarship. There is a question, can they win a scholarship for a non-creative program, not related to arts? Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, I answered this question first. It's a yes, of course. The only programs for which you cannot apply during the competition now is the foundation and the short programs. But you can apply for bachelor, one-year program, and master. For non-creative programs, you need to present an essay. So instead of a portfolio, you can write an essay, which is, let's say, 500 words on a topic which is interesting or actual or up to date. Again, inclusivity, sustainability, upcycle, e-commerce, for example, something that's, again, can give our commission a little bit of vision on your motivation. Deadlines for the competition, which is open now, the deadline is the 7th of March. And we are going to give answers within 2 weeks' time, after the 7th of March. Then for postgraduate, again, we're going to open a competition later on between March and April. Deadline, usually we don't have a fixed deadline until we have places in the classroom. I can say that most of our students in most of our programs, they apply by May. So by May, all the application is done and the groups is already made. You can actually keep also the end of spring, let's say, as your deadline. If we have a last minute student and we still have a place in the group, then we don't have any boundary.
And this is the perfect switch to the next question. How many students do you accept per class, and also in general for each school per year?
Okay, per class, we are compelled to have no more than 20 per class. To be honest with you, we had to reduce that to 14 for the pandemic, then up to 16. And I think that now it's going to go up to 20 again, which is actually the maximum that we can have because of the accreditations. How many per year? This is kind of not a difficult question, but it's something that I don't have now. There are like probably several classes of fashion design and business. We have like fewer classes, for example, for design. But you can actually keep in mind that we have groups up to 20. And then even if we have, I don't know, 10 classes for fashion design divided in Milano, Firenze, London, and Paris, of course, they still are doing the same program, but they are going to do that separately.
Thank you. A student is interested in a master course in Florence, but not related to fashion. She's interested in visual design, product design, and even management related. Is there something that she can apply for? And what are the conditions?
Yeah, actually in Firenze, we don't have design. So we don't have product design, for example, or interior. We have in Firenze management related programs related to fashion. For example, we have fashion product management, fashion luxury brand management. And in art, we have arts management. So to answer your question, if you want to study design, you must study, I mean, product design or interior design, you must study in Milan or in London, at Marangoni, of course. If you want to study in Florence, because for you the city is more important, then you can find luxury brand management, fashion product management, and arts management. And the conditions are basically those that we discussed. So high school, university degree, portfolio for the creative program, but actually it's not a creative program because all are business. So in this case, that makes me want to say something which is related to the previous background. So if you want to study one of these programs, there is no portfolio, but your background should be somehow related. So you might have studied management, business, economics, marketing, international relationships, sociology. So something that could be helpful for you in order to start and successfully finish the master.
Thank you. A few questions about the scholarship opportunity that is now open, and what the entrance test for the business-related programs is. What kind of a test it is, if it is not related to again to fashion or to design programs?
That actually scares a lot of students. Probably we should actually change the name because it actually is scaring, but it's again, it's introductory. So we don't want you to know exactly the history of fashion, or I mean, you're coming to learn. Skill test is about research. So for example, there can be multiple choice with the creative director of that fashion house, or what are the fashion museums, for example, located in Firenze or in Milano. So of course, we understand that you receive the link home and you can use the research tools that you have. So it's not going to be difficult, but it's going to be about you starting researching the fashion or the design field. So nothing to worry about, absolutely.
So Damiano, to sum up for the scholarship for the undergraduate courses, the scholarship is one, and no matter of the program they study, they have to prepare their 6 creative ideas related to the program of interest. It's
exactly.
not a topic that they should work on. Okay.
No, exactly.
There is also an entrance test.
It's an entrance test. Actually, it's for the let's say for the non-creative programs, it's 10 questions. For the creative programs, is 4 questions.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sure that we're going to change the name to make it easier.
Better. And the price is 5,000 euros or up to 5,000?
Usually it's 5,000 euro of the tuition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many students are, what is the acceptance rate? How many students are fighting for one single place in fashion design in Milan?
I'm not going to say the statistics because you should try, and you should actually have hope. Because I can tell you that there is actually one prize, one scholarship every 10 students. But the fact is that in reality, sometimes we get students who apply, receive a scholarship, but then they don't confirm. And so this scholarship goes to the next in line, so the next in the ranking. So even if I tell you that it's 1 every 10, but if the first 3 do not take the prize, then you have your chance. So don't think about, I mean, it's the competition is free of charge, absolutely. You don't need to pay an application fee. So if you are or were or will be interested in applying in Marangoni, and you already have your portfolio and your application documents, well, try. If your talent is appreciated by the admission committee, then you still have time to confirm or not confirm the scholarship. Very easy.
Thank you. There are, again, questions about the short programs and the possibility to transfer or to attend a short program while studying at the bachelor level. So can a student who is already admitted to an undergraduate course in Bulgaria attend the short course in the summer at Marangoni?
It's possible. I would not suggest to do that in the same field. If you are a BA student in fashion design, there is no need absolutely to do a short course in fashion design. But if you are a fashion design student and you want to try a short course in, I don't know, fashion business, that can make sense. Although, yeah, I mean, I suggest it only if the short programs that you choose is completely different from your BA. If it's in the same field, everything is going to be in the BA. There is no need to take an extra course.
I think that is all. Just 1 second. There is one last question. No, I think everything is clear now. What is the difference between studying in London, Paris, and Milan? As the accreditation is not the same from what I have read on the website.
Yeah, actually, it's true. There are like a few differences. Probably like during the presentation, I already mentioned that the difference is the city itself, and that makes a lot. I mean, of difference, really. It's the inspiration, it's the place you're going to live, study, and probably would like to work in. So it really, if you want to, if your dream is to work in Lanvin, Hermès, then it makes sense to stay closer to the industry in Paris, but still any city can give you some inspiration. About another difference is in the documentation, probably. I mean, as European students, you can stay, for example, in Italy and in France to work. For the UK, now with the Brexit, you need to have a visa, but still, if you do a BA program or a master degree validated, as we actually offer, you can extend your permit to stay for 2 years after graduation. And that gives you the possibility of doing an internship and then extending the permit of stay. About the validation, as we speak, all undergraduate and postgraduate in Paris are validated. All undergraduate and postgraduate in London are validated. In Milano, we have validated as undergraduate, fashion design, interior, visual, and product. And the master programs are not validated yet. They are going to be starting from October 2022. In any case, for example, if I mean, the Ministry of Education already gave us the green light. These things takes like long time. So in case, just in case, for example, suppose the fashion styling is not going to be validated in October in Milano, and you want to do fashion styling, then you can do the fashion styling program and transfer to the second year and third year in Paris or London and still get the validation from Manchester Metropolitan University. So there are like a lot of options. But again, I'm pretty confident that starting from October 2022, all programs also in Milano and Firenze are going to be validated by the Italian Ministry of Education.
I would like to ask you again to sum up about the portfolio for the undergraduate courses. What are the requirements depending on the program and the size and volume of the 6 creative ideas?
Okay, can I, is it Cato Stranizi, how many pages?
Yes.
Ah, wow. Okay, so basically, it's not about pages, it's about projects. We ask for the undergraduate, or we ask for 6 creative ideas. One idea can be a sketch, a mood board, can be a mood board and a sketch and some picture, can be a mood board, a sketch and a video, can be a combination of 3. So one project, so one creative idea, not ideas, can be done in 1 slide or 3 slides. So we don't actually, we're not like picky on how many stranizi, but we are about the ideas. So try to put on the paper 5 to 6 of your creative ideas, and don't think about the number, think about creativity. So if you think that 1 slide, all the idea in 1 slide is too noisy, then you know, develop it in 2 or 3 slides. If you have a project, but there is an inspiration which is not evident, but it's important for you, you can actually write it. Write a couple of lines of description so that who looks at your portfolio can better understand. When we are going to do the portfolio evaluation next week, and this actually gives me the possibility of reminding you that if you want to do a one-to-one meeting with me and with Petya, we are going to make one-to-one portfolio evaluation next week, next Thursday, 24th. So get in touch with the Skylines and Petya to make the appointment. And next week, we are going to be able to explain the portfolio. But when you send the portfolio for admission, you're not there to explain. So the portfolio should be interesting and also kind of self-explanatory. So if you think that your idea is beautiful, but needs some description, just write a couple of lines. It's going to be really fine.
what is happening when the course is full? You have reached the 20 students and you're not going to accept anyone else, or you're going to open a new class?
It depends on the timing of the year. For example, if we reach the maximum in, let's say, April, May, so we have a full group of 20, then we can actually see how many requests we have. And if we have like requests coming in, then we can decide to open another class. If we reach the 20 and you are applying in September or August, we are not going to open another class, because if not, we would have like a class with a few attendees. So it depends. And this is actually why probably it's better to make your decision up until May, so that we are sure that either we have place or we have time to think of another class.
I don't see any other questions.
Well, I think that's well, I think that if you don't have any more question, I'm glad, but because it means that all your doubts are cleared, that the presentation was clear, and I honestly believe that it's been great today to see so many of you, and so many of you attending until now. So it means that you had interest, you are creative, you are motivated, and this is actually what we are looking for. So first of all, I would like to thank all of you for attending today. Please come and see us to our next events, starting from next week, and many more to come. And well, Petya, thank you and for the organization, and sorry again for forgetting about you at the beginning of the presentation.
It was a joke, and it was to Dimitar actually, not to you. Don't worry. And Damiano, thank you so much for being here with us, for giving us this lovely presentation. I very much hope everybody enjoyed the time with you, and there would be many requests for next week to have the one-to-one meeting for portfolio review session with you. So I will keep in touch with you. I'm gonna say a few words in Bulgarian again.
Yeah, please.
I will be very careful because it looks like you know few words and also how to read. So I will stay quiet. And thank you, Damiano, for being with us. Благодаря на всички за това, че бяхте с нас, за това, че бяхте толкова активни. Имаше въпроси, на които не сме отговаряли заради спецификата, за това какви са изискванията за прием в точно конкретна програма. Не се притеснявайте, след тази презентация в рамките на 1-2 дена ще изпратим пълна информация за възможностите за обучение в Istituto Marangoni за всяко едно ниво на програма, бакалавър, магистър и курсовете през лятото. Ако все още има нещо, което е останало неизяснено, ще се радваме да се чуем по телефона и да направим, ако е необходимо, индивидуална среща с всеки един от вас. Както разбрахте, другата седмица ще имате възможност да покажете своето портфолио на Дамяно, да получите обратна връзка, да оправите, ако има нужда от корекции, и да кандидатствате на време за стипендията, която ще бъде открита, ще бъде отворена до 7 март. Така че ще получите директен линк съвсем скоро и се надявам да можем да се видим. Тогава ще бъдете и със звук, няма да бъде само чат. Така че ще се радвам да имаме възможност отново да бъдем заедно. Благодаря ви още веднъж и ние сме на среща. Thank you, Damiano.
Thank you. Bye bye. Arrivederci.
Ciao.
Ciao.